Yeah, you want them to be seductive. You want them to be charming. You want them to be in your face and make you feel good. So I decided to do a reaction video on 13 signs that you're having sex with a narcissist by Tammy M. Joyce.
Let's dive into the 13 signs you're having sex with a narcissist. Number 1, they're highly seductive. Initially, anyway. People who land on this spectrum of destructive narcissism tend to use seduction as their primary means of connecting because they're fundamentally incapable of bonding in a real and healthy way. So instead of working to foster healthy love and intimacy, things they know nothing about, it'll be all about seducing you and the challenge of the conquest.
1, most people want to be seduced, and most like seducing. You want to be attractive, and seducing someone is exciting, and you want that feeling in return. So I wouldn't necessarily say that, being seductive is a bad thing. And if it is, you might want a less exciting life.
Let's be honest, a narcissist can be incredibly seductive, as well as charismatic and charming when motivated. And they'll use their seductive charm and charisma to manipulate you into satisfying their own sexual needs, desires, and fantasies.
Listen, if you're interacting with someone and they are not giving you what you need out of the exchange, because I do believe that all relationships are transactional based. So if all relationships are transactional based, then you have to, exchange of services. I don't know what you want to call it, but you can't not get what you seek out of it. If so, then you're just getting fleeced, and that's not okay. Yeah, you want them to be seductive. You want them to be charming. You want them to be in your face and make you feel good. But you can't do that without getting what you want in return. So I won't totally say, oh, it's your fault that you're not getting anything in return, but you should put a stop to it. If you're not getting that, you shouldn't be dating them or having sex with them to begin with. So watch out for things like that. So I will, I can't agree with this lady right now, because really, it just sounds like, one person's more attractive than the other in my head. That's just how I'm seeing it. If these things are happening to you, someone may be higher on the attraction. That doesn't mean that they're better looking. You may have an attraction for them that is greater than their attraction is for you. That's generally what happens. I mean, it happens with guys all the time. Guys are chasing, beautiful women, but she's really not into them, but he's just really after her, and she's not giving him what he seeks in return. So that's not, I don't think, a narcissistic point of view. I don't know.
In the early stages of a relationship, they'll likely shower you with attention, gifts, and praise in order to reel you in, only for you to realize down the track that the narcissist only cares about themselves and their own needs, and in reality, cares very little about you. Number 2, they move too fast. Narcissists often want to move real fast, too fast, and they get mad when you don't or won't. When you say no, not now or not yet, it threatens their fragile false persona and overinflated ego. Your desire to go at a pace that's healthy, safe, and comfortable for you will be perceived as a form of rejection. And although they may try to hide it, if you're paying attention, you'll see the emotional immaturity and the extent to which they are easily slighted as well as angered when they aren't getting their way.
A guy wanting to move fast is nothing but horniness. Now, if you're talking about moving too fast as far as getting into a relationship or marriage, I don't know if anybody would feel comfortable enough to do that. You might want to check your self-esteem meter. If you feel the need to move fast with a guy in those areas, I mean, by definition, you may be a narcissist. But I don't think you should be moving fast. And if you're talking as far as a relationship or sex, maybe he's trying to move fast just to get in your pants, and that's likely the case. men who are confident enough or who have options don't feel the need to push. You're either on their timeline or you're not. And if you're not, that's totally fine. Then we're just not in the same boat, and we don't need to interact, because I want something out of you. It may be sex, maybe, sex and time. It may be, a sense of feminine energy. And if I don't get it, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to try to force you into it. But if you're not willing to give that, you want to move slowly, you can do that, just not with me or that gentleman or that gentleman. It's just not going to happen. So if somebody wants something, I'm not saying you jump right in just because you made a connection online dating, but I would say that you have an idea of what you're looking to get from the exchange, and you have a good pace of going into that interaction with intention. It sounds like this lady, if she's speaking from experience, she's probably dated a lot of self-centered people, which is part of the narcissistic characterization. I think I nailed that. But if you're dating people who are self-centered, that comes with it. I mean, everybody has a sense of selfishness, and if you don't, develop it, because you have to know what you want out of life. And if you're going to allow people to dictate that, then it's your fault. You're not getting it, and you can't blame those people. You have to blame yourself, because it's your life. And those self-esteem, those low self-esteem people, you too have to start self-healing, or just putting yourself first. So there is a sense of selfishness in everyone, and if not, it should be. We're not God. So go out and get what you need and make it happen. Don't look to blame someone else or call them a narcissist, because that's just victimhood, and you don't want to be that person. That's very weak, and you have to be stronger than that. Let me know what you think of the video. If you want to hear more of her signs, I'll put the link to her video in the description below. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe.